Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Strader
and Miss Shear, but you might know me as Miss Maloney.
And we are here to take you through the instructions for the summer assignment in Algebra 2 Honors. To start with, you're going to need to go to our website, which should be on your little handout. I actually have it bookmarked, and I recommend that you bookmark this as well. I use Google Chrome. All I have to do is click this little star, and it will bookmark it for me.
So your summer assignment has two parts. The first part is a Khan Academy practice. So you should already have these skills that are listed on Khan Academy. We just want you to practice them. The second part, you have to watch videos that Ms. Strader and I have made. And then you're going to take notes on those videos and do some practice as well.
So for part one, you're going to need to go into Khan Academy, do some work, and we're going to need to be able to track you. So to begin, I would click on the first link here. Notice that said adding and subtracting fractions. It's going to bring me to some practice problems about adding and subtracting negative fractions. So you are going to have to click the login button right here. And I'm going to ask you to sign in with your school Google account. Now, if you don't have one, you should be able to contact the help desk at school to get one. However, if you are going to be a sophomore, you should just be using the same one that you used your freshman year. So I'm going to click Google. Notice that it already has my school email address in. I typed in my password. It's going to ask me for permission to access my account. Going to allow that. Now everything that I do can be tracked with my username up here. So notice that it actually says K Strader at the top. Whenever you're working on these problems, if it doesn't say your username up here, you're not going to get credit for doing those problems. That is extremely important. So in Khan Academy, you are simply going to do whatever the problem asks you to do. Be careful. In some problems, it's very specific how they want you to answer that problem, because in this one, it says that they will accept a simplified proper fraction or a simplified improper fraction. Well, that's nice of them. I mean, they could go with one or the other. When you have answered the question, you'll type it into that space and hit check answer. Hopefully you'll get it right. This little smiley face will pop up and you'll get a check mark up here. Your goal is to get 5 questions correct in a row. They must happen in a row. I'm simply going to click that button right there and move on to another question. We're going to do these extremely fast right now. Wow, we're pretty good. So now that we have 5 in a row, if I click this button, notice it says that I have reached the practice level. This is the level that you must reach for every single one of these skills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 skills. Okay, so wait, Miss Maloney, if I have to do 5 questions in a row, and there are 11 skills, what is the minimum amount of questions I will have to answer?
I think it's 55,
okay,
but I'm not sure.
I was just making sure you're paying attention. Good job. So that is what we mean when we say practice status. Now, the other thing that is extremely important for you to do is to add both of us as coaches. So here's what you need to do. Go to your name up here. Go up to your, go down, I should say, to your profile. Notice that one of these options is called coaches. Click there. And you have a nice space to add a coach. So if you're adding me, we're going to type in kstrader@framingham.k12.ma.us.
And if you're adding me, you would type in SMELONI at framingham.k12.ma.us.
Excellent. So now once that we're at it as coaches, we actually can go and see exactly what you've been doing, when you've been doing it, what questions you got right, what questions you got wrong. It's like we're psychics, okay? If for some reason that there's a change that happens in Khan Academy, and they do make changes, right? We have faith that you have enough problem-solving ability to figure it out. We're not going to be changing the video over the summer. I'm sure you can figure it out and ask the appropriate people for help.
Okay, so for the second part of your summer assignment, you have to watch videos. So I want to talk about how to take notes from a video first. The most important thing you need to make sure you're doing is listening to the video. It's not enough to just write what's on the screen. You need to also write down any additional comments that Ms. Strader makes or I make during that video. This may mean you have to pause the video in order to be able to write down exactly what's on the screen and listen at the same time. You may have to watch the video more than once. Whatever it takes, you need to make sure that you've listened to the entire video and you've written everything down.
Something Miss Adams used to say is that one of her best students would watch the video 3 times, once to just watch it, once to take notes, and once to write down anything that was being said but not being written down.
I love that idea. So the next thing that you're going to have to do is complete the practice. If you click on it, you can download it and print it at home. This needs to be completed by the first day of school. You should complete this and bring this on day 1. Notice there's an answer key next to it, and Ms. Strader is going to talk to you a little bit about how to use this answer key.
So remember that answer keys can be used for both good and bad things. The bad being that you just copy them. The good thing is really that students that have tried problems on their own can then go look at them and get some type of verification that they were either doing something right, they missed a certain detail, or if they had no idea what they were doing, they might have used the answer key's answer to figure out how to do a problem, right? So that's the way that we would like to see you use answer keys in this situation. Now, next to the answer key column is the Khan Academy links to different strands that are similar to the topics that we're talking about. They don't necessarily match them exactly. They're a pretty good match. But I would say that once you finish your practice problem set and you think that you're great, you've checked everything over, you're good, really give yourself a little quiz and do some of the problems in there. It is completely optional. We're not going to go in there and check that you've done them, but it really is for your own benefit.
The other thing that you need to know is we're going to have a quiz on both parts at some point during the first cycle of school. So you need to make sure not only that you've completed all of these problems, but that you understand what's happening, both from the questions from part 1 and the questions from part 2. Depending on what class period you have, you may have it a different day, but it will be within that first cycle. I think that's what you need to know in order to complete the summer assignment. If you have questions about the summer assignment, you should ask a friend. Ms. Strader and I will probably not be available over the summer for questions, so talk to a friend who is also taking Algebra 2 honors.
It's also important to know that this assignment might take some people many hours to complete, whereas others, 2 or 3 hours, right? You really don't know how long it's going to take you. So if you're saving this for the day before school starting,
that's a bad idea.
Yeah, and if this is the last day of summer, basically, that you're listening to us, might need to make some changes to your study habits and how you navigate through this school as a student next year. And we can talk about that when we see you. But I think that's it. We wish you luck, and
we'll see you in the fall.
Yeah.